Hola, welcome back to Get the Inside and Insightful Babes event. Y aquí tenemos a Zair Montes. ¿Cómo estás?
Happy to be back with you guys. Excited for the invitation. Feliz de conectar de nuevo con ustedes.
Igual. You know, it's so good to have you back on Insightful Babes. And we had already made an episode with Zair. If you guys want to go ahead and tune in, you can. Pero aquí estamos en vivo. This is Get the Insight, and we're going to get the insight. So, ¿cómo estás, Diana? ¿Tú también? ¿Cómo estás?
Bien, aquí ya lista. Hace mucho que no nos veíamos a ir.
Yes.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Well, still figuring out, when this pandemic is gonna end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But getting ready for season 2 of The Flowers. Getting ready to go back on set finally after this calms down a little bit, and just excited to continue working. And I've been working from home like everybody. But yeah, I think I'm very hopeful that things are starting to change and that we can be back to normal a little bit more.
Yeah, I definitely miss that, the whole socializing, right? Las fiestas.
Yeah.
La María se quiere ir de parranda.
Oye, ya cuando digan ya no more COVID, boom, vámonos.
Bueno, you promised to go to Playa del Carmen for season 2.
Yeah, that's right. ¿Saben que ahorita I'm gonna book everything?
Yeah. We're actually gonna be there in July, the last week of July. Vamos a ir.
Qué rico.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
Maybe we're
there.
A ver,
¿verdad? Sí, we'll see.
Ahí nos vemos. Pero bueno, pues vamos a empezar. Thank you everyone who's connecting. Vemos aquí a María, mi tocaya. Vemos a, I don't know if I'm mentioning this right, Olinka. She says, la guapa. Pero bueno, vamos a empezar aquí. If you guys have any questions, si tienen preguntas, ya saben, pónganlo en los comentarios, and we will read them. Pero ¿por qué no empezamos, Zair? Cuéntanos un poquito de quién es Zair Montes.
Bueno, soy actriz venezolana. Vivo en Los Ángeles actualmente. También soy productora y directora creativa de una compañía que se llama Golden Seiba. And this is a company with which we did The Flowers, which is the series that's currently on Amazon that we premiered last year in the middle of the pandemic. So, but we have produced a lot of shows, movies with different type of actors, different type of genres. We have done comedies, we have done action movies in Mexico and the United States. And what I love to highlight about the company is the fact that we try to highlight Latinos and incorporate Latino stories into our shows and movies. And that's like, for me as a woman, I started as an actress, then I produced, and then I started to write. And it's always my goal to create projects that highlight and that empower Latinas, especially those Latinas that are in the U.S. And just to empower them and to help create a community of creators that are, Latinos, first generation, second, third generations, and that we can see those characters portrayed and mingled with the American society, and that we can tell different stories beside, the immigration story or the cholo or the drug dealer, because at the end of the day, we know that we are more than that, and that we have a lot to offer to this country and to the world. And especially as women, I think we have not only that power, but also that responsibility. And that's a little bit of how my journey has been and what made me jump into production and writing as opposed to just stay as an actress.
When did you realize you had the power to do that? Like, when did you realize, you know what, we could make a difference?
Well, I think it's been a work in progress. I don't think it's something that you out of the blue just wake up and one day it's like, oh my God, I'm that. No, I think it's something you have to work, and little by little, when you first of all, when you start believing that you have the power to do something and you dare to do it, and you pass that, moment where before I wouldn't do a lot of things because I knew they were not going to be perfect, and that would stop me from trying, right? But there was one moment where I decided to start doing, and it's not that I wouldn't care, but I understood that I needed to make, mistakes in order to learn. So when I decided to start just creating without being so perfectionist of my work and just put it out there, and I saw how many doors opened, then those were hints, like people like me or actresses like me would identify with my work. And then next time, I have friends that became producers like me, and that we created things together after I tried something that wasn't the best thing, but I just tried, and that motivated like friends around me. So those are the hints that you start seeing, and that they motivate you to go and do something else. And in that regard, I have a beautiful anecdote. Before the pandemic, I was still living in New York, and I remember we were like, there was one week we had nothing to do, and we decided to make a short film with friends and family, meaning like 3 people and myself. And we did the short film by ourselves. Like one day, the actor was holding the camera. The other day I was writing it. The other day, we were like, I was, doing the slate and then drop it and going back to act, right? It was like this tiny. And but because it was just like a game, I never like put the time to just work on it, edit it. And we were doing the flowers then and some other projects, and it was like abandoned. And a month ago, I just said, this was nice what we did. Let me check it out. And we put it together. It was a short film that we had no expectations of anything. And we just said, it's beautiful because it talks about being in the present moment and about connecting to your imagination and be here and now. And I said, this is beautiful for this time because it talks, it's a teaching that I think we're learning with the pandemic. So we edited the short film finally, and we just said, let's put it out there because it's a nice message. And we did it, a year ago or so. And I think it's nice just to show it, and that's it. And we had audio problems that we fixed the way we could, and we knew that it wasn't going to be perfect, but it was a nice, message. And we put it out there, and people have loved it. We just put it on YouTube, on Instagram, on our websites, and people have loved it. And it's been a reminder that, that you can motivate other people by just, playing, being joyful, and being you. Like, not expectations of, winning an Oscar or something, or you know what I mean. Just do it, have fun, and just make it happen. And and I think when you have when you don't have that pretentiousness of this is the project that is gonna make it, and you just put it out there with your, like you're putting your heart, then that's, you know, the way people can just be motivated to do their stuff, and then little by little we create this community of, you know, Latinos, Latinas that are just, you know, making it happen and just being together and working for something great.
Yeah. Yeah, and that is so true. You know, sometimes we feel that everything has to be perfect, especially in the media industry. I can imagine, you know, cuando tienes demasiada competición, you know, everybody's like, ay, this person did this, and I'm doing this, you know, like, no se compara. Empiezas ahí a comparar, pero lo importante es, como dices tú, right, to take action, porque pues no sabes a qué tantas personas puedes inspirar. And like you mentioned, you know, you've inspired so many of your friends to actually go ahead and become directors and producers and writers. So that's mainly the goal here, right? As Insightful Babes, that's what we go towards to, you know, inspiration. That's the main goal. And this is why we connected with Zair, you know, because it's all about inspiration. Pero, you know, you did mention there is questions here about where they can watch the short film that you went ahead and created. It's on YouTube, all of your social media.
It's in well, it's not yet in my Instagram, but in my stories I have the link that will swipe you swipe up and go to YouTube on gcflix.com, which is our site, one of our sites where we portray movies for free and different type of content, not only our content, but some other people have, you know, lend us their content and we just display it there for free. It's gcflix.com, and the short film is also there. And
Either way, guys, we're going to go ahead and put like all of the information. Todo va a estar aquí in this video on the description. So no se preocupen. Que la vamos a ver todos. Right? So I wanted to go ahead and talk a little bit about how this passion of yours with writing and producing and becoming an actress started. ¿Cómo empezó todo?
Well, being an actress from the from the moment I was a kid, I remember I wanted just to be on the screen, you know, whatever I was seeing in my country. So that was a no-brainer for me. Like, that was one of those things that, you know, you want to do, and you don't remember even from where. And then producir. I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting to become a producer. That happened kind of almost when I was about to move to the States. I had the opportunity to create a beautiful project that we went ahead and shot in Cuba with two wonderful producers. And that was like the first indie movie that I ever did as a producer. And we went to Cuba, we shot it, we had nothing. We were like friends and family, doing everything. And we didn't even have a printer, you know, to print, you know, the schedules or the scripts. It was like we went there with the camera and we shot it in the house of she is the mother of Guillermo, my partner in Golden Ceiba, and she helped us. Like, we were sleeping with her, we were with the neighbors, they were helping us. So it was beautiful because it was a love project, but it helped us because it opened doors. We won festivals with that movie. It's called Havana Instant. It's also in GCFlix, and we won Montreal Film Festival, and then we went to we went to festivals in Mexico. We also won New Orleans. So it was like it was a nice project for us. And and it was one of those things that I had the opportunity to do something by myself and not wait for more auditions to come or anybody to call me, and I decided to just go ahead and do it. I was very scared. I had not produced before, but I think it was a nice environment because everybody was willing to cooperate, to collaborate, and from the neighbors that we never knew, like they were bringing coffee to set,
Oh,
and so it was beautiful, and it was a nice place to start and to do something for the first time, because I knew that people had my back and that they were teaching me, or they were patient with my mistakes, because it was the first time that I was doing something like that. And I loved the experience so much, and I loved the process that I've never experienced before, from seeing the project on the screen, on the script, and then all the processes until it was on the big screen. So I had, when you're an actress, you do not experience that, like full 360 experience. And I love the process of realizing that one idea that you might have in pre-production can be turned into an actual thing, and it can improve a material. So I and same in post-production. So I loved the whole thing, and I started to get more and more involved in production.
yeah.
I love it.
Hi. Oh, that's so inspiring. Because once you become like, I mean, some people might just have like a closed mind, like, what, I'm just an actress and I can't do anything else besides that. But that's awesome that you were able to like just be open-minded and try something different.
Yeah, and I think that's also changing in every actor, because right now, you as an actor, you have to record your own auditions. It's not that you go and everybody does it for you. You have to, especially now with the pandemic, I mean, you have to set up your lightings. You have to, make sure that the mic is working. You record it, you edit it, you send it. So things are changing in that regard. And actors are more aware, I would say, of the need to control their careers, and to be more open-minded to just step on other things. And I think those actors that dare to just learn those other things, like editing, because they have to edit their reels, or lighting, or or cutting the audition they have to send, etc., they are more likely to get more jobs and to get more opportunities, and to be more open when a opportunity comes and somebody says, I have this, and naturally he would say, oh, but I have this other thing, and we can put them together and we can make a movie, and that's how you become a producer. So I think actors are more aware of those needs that didn't happen before. And I'm glad that's happening, because what you see right now is more creatives creating stories and creating projects, versus more like CEOs or businessmen, making projects happen to cater the needs of actors and creators. You know what I mean? So it's a shift, and I think it's a good one.
Yeah. So, Zair, quiero hablar de tu serie, The Flowers.
Hablemos de The Flowers.
My God, I love it. Tell our listeners, and I keep saying listeners because I'm so used to like the podcast. I'm like, it's not the podcast, but yeah, to our audience, I guess. Tell them a little bit about the serie.
The Flowers is a comedy of 5 episodes. We shot it in Playa del Carmen, and it's the story of these crazy lunatics artists that come to an art fair that happens in Playa del Carmen, and they are competing just for the best spot and to win an exclusive contract. So they get there, they're all excited, and then suddenly an anonymous flower bouquet appears in the room of one of the artists, and it creates a whole confusion. And from there on, the most hilarious things happen, and they have to, sort out obstacles in order to just achieve their goals. And I like it because it's fresh. Is a concept that relates a lot with me, in the sense that I think we all have experienced this situation in which one tiny detail or one comment or one something can trigger a whole war. And when you go back and see what triggered that, it was nothing, right? So I love to dive into the personal relationships and professional relationships, and how they get affected with misunderstandings or differences in cultures. And I love the fact that this show mingle Latinos with Americans, with different nationalities and ethnicities, and you're able to see Latinos being the stars in the show mainly, but also being famous artists, high society people. They're playing roles that are not typically the ones that Latinos get. And that was my intention, when creating this. Is like, showing that you girls are successful, and that you, in your work, you're surrounded by other nationalities, and you're just right there with them, right? So that was one of the main purpose of the show.
Yeah, I absolutely love that from that show. You can literally see the Latino power there. And, it's so uncommon to see Latinos, like you mentioned, in like really important roles. And, knowing that there's people like you, making something like this, opportunities literally for us Latinos, it's incredible and super, super inspiring for all of us to follow on those steps, para todas las new generations out there, and to show them, right, that si se puede, it's possible. Pero I wanted to know, and either way, like, I'm not just like ignoring the flowers. Hey, guys, the flowers, you guys can find all of the information you want. We're going to put all of the information aquí, okay? And so you guys can go ahead and check it. No se lo pierdan. There's a new season coming.
It's so yes.
good.
It's a new season coming soon. So
it's
you gotta catch up.
super good. Yeah. Pero igual, back to the insight. I want to know the difference, because I know that you have been an actress in Latin America, Latino America, and also here in the US. What are some differences that you've seen as an actress, like in the media industry, I guess?
Well, to me personally, one of the things that kind of were harder to navigate was the fact that when I left Venezuela, moved to Colombia, and then moved to Mexico, and then I ended up here. But when I left Venezuela, I was a consolidated actress. I had a name. I almost didn't have to do auditions. They would call me. When I went to Colombia, I started to make my name. It wasn't that easy as it was in Venezuela, but I was getting it, and it was flowing, right? So then I had, a name in both markets, and then somehow you have a name in Latin America. So when you go to Mexico, at least, you might not be known in Mexico, but they know that you are known in Venezuela and Colombia. And so that makes things so easy, right? And when I came to the States, it was like, none of that matters. That means nothing. And you have to start like from scratch. So I think, and And I think sometimes that is harder in somebody who has had a name before, because you're used to certain treatment and you're used to, you already went through, hard ways, and you are in a different place, but then you starting from zero, and like anybody else, it's sometimes it's hard. And that's why also a lot of people continue going back and forth and continue doing projects, like in this case in Spanish. And then the other thing is the accent, the language, when you're not quite there yet. Like in my case, I came I was in my mid-20s when I came to the States. So I wasn't a teenager, and I had to learn the language, and I've been working with the accent, but it's always, and before it was worse. No, now they're like, things are opening, but that was something difficult. You're not only competing with people that are very talented, but there are a lot of people that are Americans and you're not, so that makes it harder. And whereas when you're in Latin America, yeah, you might be from a different country, but you have the language. And so now here you're an outsider. It's, another layer in the whole, process. And sometimes it's hard, and some people just prefer not to continue, or to go to the safe place where, they're not going to be mocked by their accent, or they're not going to have to audition or start from scratch, or so. And they're not thinking about producing or, making your own space as well. So.
Sí. ¿Qué fue lo que te motivó a seguir adelante?
Any route is easy. Like if you choose to come back, or to continue, working more down there, if you choose to, make your own projects, do your company, or if you choose to, continue just auditioning mainly, any of them is easier than the other. They're just choices that anybody has.
Sí.
Yeah.
Sí, cierto. Tú tienes que decidir lo que te, like, whatever inspires you the most, and then you decide that path.
Sí.
Sí, eso sí. ¿Qué fue lo que te motivó a seguir adelante?
Pues creo que cuando tu pasión, cuando tienes muy clara cuál es tu pasión, siempre encuentras la manera de buscar los cómo, ¿no?
Sí.
Y when I think about, well, let me figure out what else can I do, or what else do I make a living, or what else do I like, I find a lot of hobbies I do, but they're hobbies. I'm not willing to, to waste a life, or, to make too many sacrifices for that. And I'm always willing to sacrifice things for what I like. So I think that makes me continue. And also I've found joy in the process. Like when I go on set, whether it is to shoot the flowers, or whether it is to shoot the short film, or this movie we made in Acapulco with Paul Sorbino, William Baldwin, Michael Madsen stars. I'm enjoying the process, and I enjoy the day-to-day. It doesn't matter what the outcome is, or if it's small or big or medium size, I enjoy it. So I think that's important to continue, just that you enjoy, the journey.
They say fall in love with what you do and you won't work a single day.
Correct. Yeah.
It's cliche, but it
yeah.
makes sense.
But it's true. It's true.
Yeah. I just want to ask you one question, Said. How, like, what advice would you give to somebody that's wanting to start their actress, like being an actress or a producer? Like, what advice would you give them?
Don't be afraid, because this is so subjective, and you'll find people that say you're not good enough, you're not talented enough, and sometimes you don't do the right things, but you're learning, and in the next one you'll do it better, because acting is also a muscle that you have to train, and producing as well. Like, you don't always do it right, but you improve. The more you do it, the better it gets. So don't be afraid to put your things out there. If you're an actress, we have so many tools now: YouTube, Instagram. Those are windows to show your talents. Don't be afraid to gather with people and just create something from scratch, and just make it a workshop, if you want to call it. Just put out there a scene, and just start creating for you. And if you're a producer, same thing. Just don't sit down and wait for the opportunity. You just go knock on those doors and find people who can support you with $10 or with a meal, and then just create your first own project, whatever that is that you want to do, and go do it, and mingle with people, network a lot. Now this is wonderful, Zoom, and all the tools that we have right now. I mean, for producers, that's amazing. So keep on trying and knocking doors and doing that. That would be my advice.
That's awesome.
Love that advice. Sí, pues definitely do it, guys. If you are watching this, a lo mejor este es un sign, una señal.
Ándale, ajá.
Go ahead and do
it.
Una señal para que se muevan.
Yeah. And I know it's been hard, right? It's been difficult right now con todo lo que estamos pasando, pero
no tienen que ser cosas grandiosas. Sí. Yo creo que el problema cuando creemos que tienen que ser algo como, entonces eso paraliza. Pero es como el dominó, es una piececita que se mueve y hace el efecto, ¿no? Yo creo que it's make that phone call. It's meet with your actress friend. I do that all the time. I meet with my actress friends. So what are we doing now? And maybe nothing comes out, but sometimes something comes out.
Yeah.
The thing is, just do it, guys. Go ahead and just do it. Igual, let's see, get unos comentarios, Diana. Go ahead and what are people saying? I want to get the insight on the comments.
Okay, so I have just do it. Guillermo Ivan, yes. And I have Rocio Muñoz. Hi, Zair. You're great as an actress, as a writer, as a producer, but most important as a Latina. Wow.
Thank you.
Sí, está. Latino power, guys. Latino power right here.
Latinos supporting Latinos. That's good.
Yes. We have to.
Sí. No, hombre, Zair, pues thank you so much for being here with us. We're super excited. Pues sí, estamos excited. I'm sorry, guys. Ando toda... I just got my vaccine, guys. Así es que this is a challenge for me. Pero así como dijo Zair, we're here and we're doing it. We're making it happen. Pero igual, muchas gracias, Zair, for being here with us. We're truly, super, super happy to follow you on this journey with being a voice for Latinos and, in the media industry. I love what you're doing. Love what you and your teammates with, your production team are doing. Me encanta todo. Super ready for season 2 of The Flower.
Yes.
It's like, a lo mejor ya nos vemos. Right?
Atrás.
Exacto.
No, pero aquí igual lo importante es que sigan adelante. You heard it from Zair, if you have a dream, if you have a goal, sigan adelante, igual no tiene que ser algo tan acá, ¿verdad? Tan professional or así. Start small. Why not? You know? Igual acá como Insightful Babes, you know, we have no idea how to do and manage all of this live streaming, pero pues gracias a todos nuestros special guests, gracias a Zair que nos tiene paciencia.
Sí.
No, imagínate. Gracias a ustedes por estar siempre pendientes de The Flowers y de todos los proyectos que estamos haciendo. Gracias por ser el puente entre tantos latinos y latinas exitosas. Ayer estuve escuchando a su invitada de ayer, me encantó, me parece una iniciativa increíble, no dejen de hacerlo. Y pues ustedes son el mejor ejemplo de lo que yo dije, o sea, mejor ejemplo ustedes que yo, o sea, ustedes ya mismo lo dijeron, o sea, you don't know how to sort certain things out, but you're doing it anyway. You're sick, but you're still here anyway, so...
Yeah, sorry guys, sorry.
Beautiful.
Maria.
And yeah, no, we have to cheer that.
Yeah.
Sí, hay que celebrar every single little achievement, guys. A celebrar. Y pues igual, gracias Zair. I hope everybody who tuned in loved this. I know I did. A ver, una pregunta.
Ay, cuando me inviten, ya la estoy perdón. Yo quiero ir a McAllen, Texas, a grabar una movie ya mismo. Cuando sentémonos, conversemos. Yo voy, yo la produzco, la hacemos, la firmamos. Ven, así empiezan las cosas, así, desde el comentario chiquitito.
Sí.
Ya viene, me ven ahí en McAllen.
Pues ya quedó aquí grabado, everybody, testigos, aquí lo hay. No, hombre, pues muchas gracias everybody who tuned in. Thank you so much, and we're gonna come back with more. Zair, have a great rest of your day. Y sigue adelante because you're hella inspiring. Yeah. Thank you for being a voice for us Latinos. Y you can count on us, ya sabes.
Y ustedes también conmigo. Thank you.
Gracias.
Bye bye, guys. Cuídense.
Bye. Thank you.